Hi, the other day I was doing a bit of a squiggle on a piece of paper. A friend of mine's got a beautiful Darwin python, and I thought I might like to paint her. So today I'm going to show you the steps I did to make my python picture. I hope I give you some inspiration to paint your very own original painting of any subject you want. It's really a basic technique, but it's lots of fun to do paintings this way, even if you only try it once. This is Tiffany. She doesn't sit still very often, so I've taken a photo of her. She's an albino Darwin python. It's cold here and she's under a red heat lamp, so the colours are a little bit distorted, but I'll try and paint them as close to her actual colouring as I can. I'm using a pre-painted board, but you can use a canvas. I've painted it black for this one, so that in the end we'll have nice clean black lines. I'm hoping it will resemble a LED light window when it's completed. It doesn't look much now, so cross your fingers for me. Using some more paint, this time white, I've sketched in Tiffany's coils and she's cascading over a branch in the jungle. Starting from that very rough sketch, I've coloured her in just with some white acrylic paint as well, so that we have an idea of where she is on the painting. I've experimented, and sometimes I put all of the tape down before I even start to paint. Today I'm trying something different. I've put Tiffany down and I'm going to make sure that her lines are crisp. I've made sure Tiffany has nice sharp edges by touching up the white with black paint before I applied the tape. Where I have laid the tape down right next to Tiffany, I've made sure that there is about 1 millimetre of black paint in between the tape and the white painting. I've done this so later on you get a nice black line with no white underneath it. Once you've got all of your tape down, you can start painting the tape with the black acrylic that you used for the undercoat, so that later on there will be no bleeding underneath the tape when you add your colours. I can't emphasise enough how necessary this step is, so do take note. Don't worry if you paint over a little bit of the white of your blotted in subject, because it will be painted over with the colours later. It was only ever a guide in the first place. Tiffany looks a bit different now, doesn't she? I'll have to let the paint dry, so I'm going to take it outside to let the sun and the breeze dry it off for me. If you have a look closely, you can still see the tape that's all over the board that's been painted. To keep your colours really nice and clean, this black paint has to be totally dry before you start to put them in. The paint will lose its shine when it dries, and you can always just tap your finger on it to see whether it's still wet or not. Time for a cuppa and a daydream about what this picture might look like when it's finished. The black paint's all dry and I've started the background. Don't be scared to overlap the tape slightly as you're painting the colours in, because that's what it's there for, as a barrier. So I filled in the leaves and the branch and some of the colouring on Tiffany as well. Once you feel you've finished painting the colours in and you let the paint dry for a little while, you can peel the tape off. Once the tape's all off, you can have a closer look at what you've done and see where you need some touching up. Hopefully, if you've done all the steps correctly and let the paint dry when you've needed to, the lines will be pretty clean when you take the tape off, and there'll only be a little bit of touching up to do. Here is the completed painting. It's Tiffany on a beautiful branch in the jungle. I've really enjoyed this painting and I hope I've inspired you to do some of your own. Happy painting and happy gardening from Judy at Itchy Palms Gardens, and do feel free to write a comment or send me your paintings because I'd love to see them, and I'd love it if you come back and see another of my tutorials. Bye for now.